And so okay, hello, my name is Sarah. I am a yoga instructor and I also have been snowboarding for the past 8 or 9 years, and I have decided to merge the two with Snoga. Today on Mountain Vibes page, I led a live Snoga flow and we focused on balance and we focused on a little bit of foot health, which is so fascinating. We can talk about that more later. The goal with Snoga is to be able to work our body on the off season so it has enough mobility to throw anything that we want to throw, whether it's jumps, rails, rotations, ground tricks, whatever. We just want to be able to have the mobility that is required to do those things. And then also that's going to help with recovery as well, because if we're going into next season with our body like not really open or like kind of stiff, then we're gonna hurt ourselves more often. So this is both gonna be helping with our tricks and our recovery. So enjoy. Sure you can see me. There we go. Okay, jump on the back of your mat, standing at the top. Perfect. Let's go ahead. We're gonna inhale our arms all the way up. Interlace your fingers at the top and then press the palms of your hands towards the ceiling. And then just come up on your tippy toes, really stretching, digging your toes into the ground, balancing on your tippy toes while you press to the ceiling. And release your heels down. Go ahead and bend your knees all the way down until you bring your hands to the ground. From here, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes and bring our butt to our heels. And you can bow your head here for a little bit of extra. Just breathing, bowing your head. And now, bringing your head and chest up towards your knees. As you kind of drop your heels back down to the ground, they're probably not going to reach the ground, but just trying to stretch out those calves a little bit. And we're going to go back up. So straighten your legs out, and then we're going to inhale the arms all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to go again. So we're going to interlace those fingers, pressing the palms to the ceiling, come up onto your tippy toes. Press the ground away, try to get your palms to the ceiling, and staying on your tippy toes, bend your knees all the way down, stay on your tippy toes. Woohoo! Slowly until you're on top of your heels, or your heels and your butt are meeting. Then bring your hands down to the ground, come up even higher on your tippy toes, and then bow your head. Getting a nice stretch in the backside. And then make your chest to your knees and then press your heels down to the ground, really stretching out your calves. And just breathe here for a second. Beautiful. And placing your hands on the ground, start to straighten out your legs, but don't straighten them all the way. Just make sure that you can still touch the ground with your hands. So maybe you have a little bend in your knees. Maybe you can try to straighten them out a little bit more. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you're able to touch the ground. And from here, we're going to bend into one knee and start to straighten the other. So you can come up onto your fingertips if it helps. Stretching out the back side. Bend one, straighten out the other. And breathe. Beautiful. And let's go ahead with our knees bent, start to walk your hands out into our first downward dog. So in downward dog, you want to try to get your feet hip width apart, your hands are shoulder width apart, and then you spread your fingers nice and wide. And so you're kind of balancing in between the two, the feet and the hands. You're not on one more than the other. Breathe, pressing one heel into the ground and then the other. Beautiful. And with control, we're going to bring the right leg in between the hands. So look in between your hands, keeping your core tight and placing that leg in between the hands. Right leg up. From here, we're going to swoop the arms up into a high lunge, keeping a bend in that front knee. And then from here, we're just going to open up that back hip. So bring the back heel down to the ground, and we're now into our warrior two. Just opening up that hip a little bit for what we're about to do. Make sure that front leg is going to the back side of the mat and then forward so you can see your big toe. And breathe. Beautiful. From here, reach forward as much as you can. Flip your palm and then reverse to your warrior, looking up at the ceiling, keeping a bend in that front knee. Breathe. Back hand can go down the leg, around the back, it doesn't matter. And releasing back into our warrior two. From here, let's start to straighten out that front leg just a little bit. So we want to keep a micro bend so you're not hyper extending your knee. And then we're going to reach forward, reach, 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 reach. Reach, 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 reach. And turn the hands. Looking up or down, whichever is easiest for you. And breathing. And to get out of this one, we're just going to slowly start to bend into the front knee as we bring our upper body back up into our warrior two. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and windmill our arms all the way down into that lunge. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So bring it back into our downward dog. Legs feeling a little bit more warmed up. And then we're going to bring left leg in between the hands. If you need to manually bring it there, go for it, meaning using your hands to get it there. So breathe here for a second. You can rock back and forth if you want to feel a little bit more stretch. And then with your next inhale, bring your arms up into that high lunge. Breathe. And rotate that back heel onto the ground into your warrior two. And again, make sure that that front leg goes to the left side of the mat and forward so you can see that big toe. Breathe. Opening up that back hip. And we're going to go ahead and reach forward, reach, 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 reach. And reverse the warrior, so looking up. Back hand can go down the leg or around the body. Make sure you still have a bend in that front leg. And release back into your warrior two. This time we're going to start to straighten out that leg like we did before. And then reaching forward, reach, 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 reach. And rotate the arms. Maybe looking up at the ceiling, maybe looking at the ground. Just breathe. And when you're ready, start bending into that front leg, bringing the arms back up into our warrior two. And from here, windmill your arms down into that lunge. So know both sides are warmed up. And then press the ground away as we come back into our downward dog. Beautiful. All right, from here, right leg in between the hands. Staying here for a second. And now we're going to put a lot of weight into our front leg as we lift off with our back. So maybe take your back leg a little bit closer. Keep a little bend in that front leg as we're going to press up into kind of a T position. And so our standing leg is the base of the T. And then you can even extend your arms out if you have the room. I'm going to back up a little bit. You can even extend your arms out to make it a full T. If you notice that your left hip is kind of coming up, try to rotate it down to be parallel with the ground. Keep a little bend in that standing leg. Breathe. Beautiful. And slowly start to bend that knee until you get your hands to the ground. And you can grab the back heel, stretching out your hamstrings a little bit. Try to bring that back leg up to the ceiling. It doesn't have to look like this. It can look like this. Just stretching. And release that back leg down to the ground. And then bring it back into that lunge that we started with. Beautiful. Now we're going to switch sides. So going into our downward dog. And then left leg this time. Take it in between the hands. Beautiful. Stay in that lunge for a second. Wiggle back and forth. And again, we're going to press weight into that front leg. So maybe hop that back leg up a little bit closer. And then keep your spine straight as we keep a little bend in that knee. Hands to your chest. Press the ground away as you come up into that T position. Still breathing. Square off your hips to the ground. And then if you can, try to bring your arms out in front of you, making it a full T. Let's build a T. Breathe. A little strength, a little balance, control. Ooh. And bend into that front leg, touching the ground. And then we're going to do the same hamstring stretch. So you can grab your back heel and bring the back leg up as much as you can. Breathing. And this time, we're going to bring that back leg to meet the front. So we should be standing into a forward bend. Keep a little bend in your knees. Never locking them out, hanging here like this. We want to bend. Breathing. And then bend your knees as much as you can to get your hands to the mat. And then heel toe your feet to the width of the mat. Beautiful. Every time in Snoga, I'm going to do this one. Get your hips down and your chest up into a yogi squat. And breathe. And going back up, so place your hands down, bringing your hips up, head down. Straightening out those legs as much as you can with keeping your hands on the ground. So if that's right here or right here, perfect. Just keep a straight spine as you try to bring those hips up. And let's go down again, bringing your hips to the ground, chest up. And breathe. And one more time, press the ground away, chest down, hips up. Beautiful. From here, walk your hands out into that downward dog again. Breathing. Really pressing in between the hands and the feet. And go ahead and just bring your knees to the ground. And then untuck your feet. And so the tops of your feet are on the mat. And we're sitting on our heels. And so bring your knees together. So we're not going to bring them out wide like a child's pose. Knees together, toes and ankles together. Trying to sit on your heels. If this is uncomfortable, roll up a towel, put it underneath your ankles for a little bit more space there. Or we just want to stretch them out a little bit. Also important every time we do Snoga, stretching out the ankles. Breathe. So if this is comfortable, you can bring your hands behind you and start to bring your knees up. Putting a little bit more stretch on those ankles. Breathing always. If this is too much, you can always just sit in the pose. You don't have to push it too much. Beautiful, and release. Bringing your hands back out in front of you, and then maybe bringing your ankles up, making small circles, bringing life back into them. Ooh. Gorgeous. And we're going to do the opposite. So tuck all your toes underneath, even the pinky toe. Make sure you got them all. Perfect. And then once you get there, slide your knees forward, just a scoosh. We really want to open up the back side of our feet. This will give us a lot more awareness of our feet, I guess you can say. So like in our boots while we're riding, if we work on foot health, then we're going to be able to be in more control with our feet. So working on it all the time. We'll do a little balancing drill I love to do. Just keep breathing. See how far forward you can slide your knees. Breathe. And finally release, bringing your hands onto the ground, into that tabletop. Bring your feet up. And maybe make grabbing motions with your toes, bringing life back into your feet. Woo, beautiful. And we're gonna press up into our downward dog. But from here, walk your hands to your feet until you're in a forward fold. Keep a little bend in those knees as always. And we're going to just slowly come up one vertebrae at a time. Press the ground away. All the way up to a stand. Beautiful. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spread our toes as much as you can and then place them on the ground and try to grip the ground with your feet. Sounds crazy, right? Try it again. Spread them up nice and high and then grab the ground with your toes. Maybe it looks funny. Let's go one more time. Bring them up. Spread your toes as much as you can. And grab the ground. Clawing at the ground. Beautiful. From here, you can just shake them out a little bit, making them natural. Making your feet about hip width apart. We're going to rock up on the toes and rock back on the heels. Just do that a couple times, maybe hands on your hips. We just want to find that perfect middle ground. Breathe. As high up on your toes as possible. Maybe you get a little calf workout. Backing back on your heels. And then when you're ready, find that middle ground. So placing your feet down, spread your toes, grip the ground, and try to find that middle part of your foot. So toes here, heels here. We want to try to put our weight right here, evenly dispersing. Beautiful. Let's go ahead. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. And then exhale, release them down and back. Let's do 2 more of those shrugs. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale them down and back. One more time. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. And exhale them down and back. Beautiful. From here, we're just going to shift our weight to our left foot. So I'll move so you can see me. So we're not going to do much. We're just going to shift over to the left. Keep a micro bend in that left leg like it's ready to take on some weight. And then just bring your right heel off the ground. And then from here, you can either bring the right heel to the left ankle, or you can bring it to the shin, or you can bring it up over the knee, never on the knee, into the hip, going into a tree pose. So choose either one you like, ankle, shin, or thigh, inner thigh. And just bring your hands to the center of your chest, working on balance here in tree pose. Now, make sure your left leg isn't completely locked out. You want to make sure it's strong and it's holding you there. And maybe if you feel good here, you can branch out, bringing your arms up over your head. I'm a tree. Oh my gosh, okay. If you could be any tree, which tree would you be and why? Let me know. I got some answers. I can't wait to read them. And release, bringing your hands down first. And we're going to bring our knee in front of us with control. Bringing our knee in front and then placing it back down to the ground. Again, we're going to rock up on our toes and our heels, resetting a little bit. Foot health, back and forth. And when you're ready, find that middle ground, spread your toes nice and wide, and then place them to the ground. Nice. All right, this time we're going over to the right side. So shift over to the right. Keep a little bend in that right leg as you bring up the left heel. Maybe hands at your chest, and you can bring that left heel to the right ankle, the right calf, or up into the right thigh. And hands at heart center, breathing, finding that balance. Maybe branching out if you're feeling brave. Woo-hoo. Breathe in and out through the nose. Beautiful. Finding a little bit more peace, bringing your hands back to the center of your chest, and then we're going to bring this knee forward. So with control, releasing that leg, bringing that knee forward, and placing it back down to the ground. Nice job. Okay. From here, hinging at the hips, chest nice and straight, straight spine, bend your knees, straight spine, all the way down into that fold. You can grab each elbow, bow your head, let your head just hang down, breathe, and releasing your hands down to the ground. We're going to walk our feet out into a downward dog, pressing our heels down into the ground, really stretching out our calves. And then we're going to just shift our weight forward into a plank, core nice and tight. And then shift our weight back into a downward dog. Notice how I keep a little bend in my knees. And shift the weight forward into a plank. And back into a downward dog. Let's go one more time. Shift forward into a plank. And back into a downward dog. This time we're going to take our feet with us. So when we shift forward into a plank, bring the right foot on the outside of the right hand. Breathe. And back into a downward dog. Left foot outside of left hand. Breathe. And press back, downward dog. One more on either side. Right leg outside of right hand. And back into downward dog. Last time, left foot on the outside of the left hand. Breathing. And pressing back into our downward dog. From here, bring your feet to the width of the mat. Walk your hands to where we're hanging over our wide feet. And then sit down into your yogi squat. Maybe notice if it's any different. if it feels more accessible. And we're gonna go just one time all the way up with our hips, down with our chest. Maybe bend one knee, straighten out the other. And last time, come down, hips down, chest up, yogi squat. And from here, go ahead and just take a seat. Boop. Sitting on the ground, bring your legs out in front of you. You can bring your feet together, going into a nice little butterfly. Show you right here. Feet together, butterfly. You can flap your wings, making your knees go up and down. And we're almost done. We're gonna grab left hand to the toes, right hand presses the right knee away as we lean to the left and look up. Beautiful. And release, coming back up to the top. Switching sides, right hand to the toes, left hand presses left knee away, and you look up, leaning to the right. And one more time on either side, coming up to the top, left hand, left toes, right hand. Press that right leg away, look up. And last time, back up to the center, right hand, toes, left knee, left hand. Press it away and lean. And breathe. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead, just bring our big toe of the left foot onto the top of the mat. So, the pinky toe of the left foot, the top of it should be touching the mat. So our foot is kind of internally rotated, so you want to get your bottom of your foot looking to the ceiling. And then our right foot, same thing, rotate that foot so the top of the pinky toe is on the mat. And really allow your legs to fall open. Maybe put a pillow underneath your hips if you need a little bit more. And just breathe here. Instead of going into Shavasana, we're just going to end into the seated position. So go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart center. And make your chest nice and proud. So really open your chest up to the ceiling. Pinching your shoulder blades together, maybe even looking up a little bit. And smiling with your eyes closed. And just being grateful for your body and everything that it can do and that it led you here today. And just start praying for snow for next season and start envisioning everything you want to hit. Whether it's a move or a rail or a jump or backcountry or whatever. Just start picturing it now and knowing that every time you show up for Snoga, you're making your body a little bit more ready for next season. Namaste. Okay.